All right, so let's hope we are live. Waiting for the YouTube audio signal to report back. Nothing yet. Again, refresh. It's good. It sounds good. All right, so, we lost a subscriber. We were up to 174 subscribers yesterday, and now we're down to we were up to 175. We're down to 174. This is the first time in a while that we went down in numbers. Really weird. Really, really weird. Okay. Okay, so 2 minutes. Yeah, take your time, man. Take your time. So the question last night yesterday we saw that we would have to build an enormous interferometer. An enormous. It's got to be. I mean, it could be tiny, but then it would have to be very, very sensitive to the interference. So either we get some very, very sensitive equipment as far as the detection goes. So that's one option. Another option is a huge arm, like a kilometer. The arm has to be a kilometer, meaning it's a 2 kilometer. It has to stand 2 kilometers in the air, be very rigid, and rotate 90 degrees. The problem that is that it has to be very rigid. So as it rotates, we cannot have it be deformed. If it deforms even by a tiny amount, well, that's gonna throw off everything. We're talking about 0.65 micrometer wavelengths. There's no way we could do that with some rotating some rotating device. I mean, I can't imagine doing anything like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Mr. Off the cruise ship. How are you?
Well, I am well this morning.
It's good.
Not morning, it's 3 in the morning, but technically the morning. How are you?
Wait, it's 3 in the morning for you?
Yeah.
So you're in California? You don't have to
Pacific,
say.
yeah.
You don't have to say. Okay. Okay. So you had questions you wanted to discuss.
Yeah.
You wanted to
Um
discuss. Yes. Do you want to present your discussion? Or
the
do you want me to read
well
the questions? What's your preference?
well let me give you a bit of, well, maybe that's unrelated,
Mm-hmm.
but uh mm, yeah, let's just go with the questions. You go through them,
Okay.
I guess.
So question number one, do chemical concepts such as substance and element correspond to natural kinds? I never heard of this word natural kinds. So what is this word?
I'm
Mhm.
I'm assuming what they mean is
Who?
if there's like,
What do you mean they?
well,
Wait, what do you
well,
mean they?
academics. No.
Academics? I've never
Yeah,
heard.
even then they have different views and opinions amongst them.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
I
search. I'm gonna search Brave.
this is this was a philosophy article, not a chemistry article. Um,
Okay, I'm just looking at what Brave says. There's Plato Stanford EDU. So this is Plato. I never read anything, as you know. So I don't know who Plato was. I think he was a wrestler in ancient Greek or something, and then he also was like a philosopher or something, or a politician or something. I don't
maybe he
know.
was he might have been a politician. I'm not sure.
I don't know. He had a school, like he created maybe one of those, like a philosophy school that students paid him, and he taught them maybe I don't know what he would teach them. What could he? What knowledge could he
Well,
impart for money? Because they had to pay him because he didn't work, I think. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. So, natural kind is an intellectual grouping or categorizing of things in a manner that is reflective of the actual world and not just human interests. Some treat it as a class. Okay, look, I find this honestly. I'm a scientist. I try to always be scientific, so I don't. I just all these classifications of the ancient world are, to my taste, a complete waste of time. Like I think what Einstein did was a complete waste of time. So I'm not so of course, and something from thousands of years ago, my intuition is it would be a complete waste of time. Sometimes it's not. Actually, I read a little bit of a I don't know if it was Plato or Aristotle, one of those big names. Their theory of mind is actually better than any current theory of mind of any researcher today, in my opinion. So, but that's because brain science today is completely out of control, as John says, as John Lifestyle says. So the ancient ones were better at some things, but I don't think, like, as far as chemicals go, they had no idea that we have like atoms and molecules, and they had no periodic table. They just had no idea how the world is. So I don't think it's worth our time to even listen to what they had to say. I just don't see the point. Anyone who brings it up, you just ask him in a debate, you just ask him, are we having a scientific discussion? Are you presenting a scientific theory? If they say no, then you have to say, then I cannot relate to what you're saying. As far as I know, you cannot relate to what you're saying. So this discussion is over as far as I'm concerned. Let's go to question two because I have nothing to say about question one. So two, do chemical bonds, I mean, if you later want to go to anything specific, we can discuss it. Do you have a comment about question one?
well, one, like I can give an example, such as like say we make a new chemical
Okay.
to treat like something
Okay.
or another, like be it in medicine or
Okay.
uh, something in the world.
Hmm.
The question is, has it ever been done before? That's the question. Like, has it
Why?
ever been in the universe before?
Why is that important?
I don't know. It doesn't seem that important, but it's fun to think about.
1 second. I have a phone call. Give me a second. 1 second. Let me mute my mic.
Just click mute.
On my physical mic doesn't work. I don't know why. So let me just text back. I need to text them back that I'm very, very busy. 1 second. Let's see if it's urgent. Because they're calling from the Pacific. Yep. Yeah. I have a hard stop like at like in an hour. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Wow, 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 wow. So, what do you want to say about question one? Let's hear it.
That's it.
That's
So
it. Yeah, that's good. Let's go. Wait. Let me just take the link to this to our room and paste it in the chat and pin it because sometimes the discussion gets very interesting. Pin message and people yell, "Please let us in! I want to get into the discussion," but we cannot hear them. So I just pasted the link so they can join us. All right. Question number two: do chemical bonds exist? I mean, it depends on the word exist, but if we're having a scientific discussion, then yes, it's a scientific definition. We can study it. I'm certainly not an expert. I'm not an expert at anything, except for currently I am apparently an expert as far as the Michelson-Morley experiment is concerned. I hold myself to be an expert. That's because I notice no one is as much as I am. But anything else, I'm not a relative expert. So as far as bonds are concerned, I know very little except for what I learned in high school, and I barely learned anything in high school. But no, bonds, no, college. But I didn't pay attention, so I don't really know. I never understood bonds like they share an electron or something. I don't know because I'm confused about quantum mechanics. So it's supposed to be a wave. The electron is a wave, as far as I'm concerned. That has to be the truth because of my theory of gravity. So an electron has to be a wave. Um, and how a wave is how an electron attracts a proton. A proton is a complex wave. The electron is a wave. How do these things attract? How do waves attract each other? I have no idea. That I need to think about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because of the Higgs mechanism, so they have masses, but I don't know. So, but from what we know from you know, just from listening
Do
to
you
the yeah,
do
go ahead.
you
Hmm.
do you perchance have you ever heard of um like I don't want to get into like what you think of like afterlife or anything, but do you believe like uh well I'll ask you after question three.
Okay.
Um
So as far as bonds are concerned, they exist. I
I got a little ahead of myself, sorry.
it's okay, it's okay. So as far as bonds, like when you talk about when you're going so deep into the fabric of reality, basically, into subatomic particles, and I really need to think about what a bond is. How I need to come up with a theory because I am the way I define science. It has to be completely mechanical. So I need to be able to understand how two waves are somehow attracted, like an electron and a proton are waves and they need to attract each other. I just wouldn't know how to do that at this point. So, but as far as I know, that I mean, the world seems to function, and the experts have taught us that that is what they do. That it's by the sharing of an electron. I don't know. I could not argue this from first principles. So I have to defer to the experts, unfortunately. As far as I know just as much as anyone because I have to defer to the experts. And what is their precise nature? Yeah, I think you maybe through quantum field theory you can figure it out. But I didn't get there yet. I'm still, I'm busy with my re- reproducing, not reproducing, but improving and fixing the Michelson-Morley experiment. So number three, our atoms. I would need at one point to stop the fixation on Michelson-Morley and move on and figure everything out too. I can't rely on the experts apparently for anything. They seem to be extremely unreliable. I mean, they took our reliance on them and they've betrayed our reliance. I mean, I trusted Einstein. One second, I have a message. Let me, give me a second. I need to look at a text message. You can speak your mind about anything while I'm checking messages. One second. Oh, very nice.
So
Okay, okay. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
for quantum states, there's this thing where um
Mm-hmm.
in quantum states they believe you never experience uh the quantum realm or the field your perspective as it is true, which stems from like Buddhist faith and philosophy, and they say, well, if you really want to know what someone else is going through or how they're seeing the world, you have to go through their eyes. And it makes a case for solipsism. It makes a case for egoism. Makes a case for all these things. And yeah, uh,
Wait,
do
what?
you think
What
there
did
is?
you say? Did you say
Do you,
egoism?
yeah,
Wait,
like
from quantum?
like the Max.
Wait, what? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this guy called uh, he called everything like spooks. He would say like, say I don't understand this stuff like totally completely. I'm just trying to like throw quantum stuff out there so I can get like
Hmm.
better perspective on this. Um, it's like Max Turner would call things spooks that were outside of his like realm of awareness or
Max
perspective,
Max
and he was
Stirner,
like a yes, and he was a famous anarchist. He
anarchist. Wait, look. So you were talking about. So you're jumping. You're making a jump from quantum discussion to anarchism.
yeah,
So you're.
well,
It's okay. It's okay. So.
that's what this guy thought, and I'm trying to like piece it together with like quantum theory and all that, which is that
Hmm.
like how do you really know what's outside of the self? And like atoms,
No.
molecules, and all these things. Like we got it boiled down to a science, right? Like we give someone a vaccine
Hold on.
and they're able to.
Look. So in order to know what the self is, I would say you have to learn brain science. So you have to figure out how the brain works. Then you know what the self is. The self is the brain, as far as I know. So if you study brain science, brain theory, neuroscience, anything like that, um, then that's how you know
Do
what
you
the
think
self.
it could?
Hmm. Go ahead.
Do you think it could be incomplete somehow? Uh,
I don't know what that means.
sort of like
What do you mean?
a well, mm, from my understanding is uh, the universe is and always is, and you are like as far as you can tell, like try and like remote view or something. That's impossible, right?
Remote. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much impossible unless you can get a brain. If you get a brain chip, and the chip has a remote connection to maybe another brain or to an AI, then you can expand and extend the brain, through
But you can never do that fully.
when
You can never see something through someone else's eyes,
Mm,
as far as
there,
we know.
so we know that there's, like, I just the other day was listening to, I don't remember what, a video about twins with one head, they have shared organs in the brain. Some of their brain is shared. So when you show one twin a color, the other one knows what color. They see, when one sees something, the other one knows what the other is seeing. They have shared thoughts, which makes sense. I mean, obviously, it makes sense. So it's possible to interconnect all of humanity through a chip. All of humanity can be connected to the internet through a chip, and so anyone, you can access anyone else's thoughts in the future. I don't see why not. Just like right now, you can easily Google search and go to someone's server and read one of their pages. So in the future, you'll be able to do that just through thinking about it. Just like you're accessing your own memory, you're trying to remember, wait, what did I eat yesterday? Just you would think, okay, what did this guy eat yesterday? Or you in the future, it should be doable. I don't see the issue through chips. It should be
But
straightforward.
how do we like say the past? Say like 100 years ago.
Yes.
How do we know what goes on there?
No, that's that's more difficult. That then you have to actually do research. Like I'm right now studying. Like when I read Einstein now, I know exactly what he was thinking as he was talking and writing, because I understand where he went off the deep end. I know what he didn't understand. I know what he said that he understood and did not understand. I've read enough and I've thought enough about the same issues that he thought about that I can read his mind basically. It's actually very simple. It's very straightforward because he was not, he wasn't different than me and you. I'm just an average schmo, and so was Einstein. So it's fairly straightforward. So if you read enough and you at one point when you read and think enough about someone, you're able to read his mind. You're able to
But
completely. Mhm.
so getting in the idea of like political philosophy, like you can read his mind, and this is going off that.
Mhm.
Can you stand the self as equal to, or even better than the universe
I don't know.
in terms of
I don't know what
cognitive abilities? I guess I'm not sure, but in terms of like right to statehood, I guess
in terms of what rights of sharehood. What
statehood, like do
state?
they both like if we're like can the like say the single sole individual, can they just stand as their own country and you have to respect their self and their boundaries,
No one
and
has
the
to do.
universe has to do that as
No
well?
one has to do anything. The way the world works and the universe is might makes right. Whether you like it or not, no one cares. That's just the rule of that's one of the rules of the universe. The fact that we eat chickens and chickens usually don't eat humans is because we're just that's just the way it is. I mean, we're defined. We can say, okay, humans rule this planet, so humans eat all the other animals at will. And animals, we usually don't allow them to eat humans normally. Like sometimes they end up doing that, but normally humans eat animals. Animals don't eat humans. Everyone eats plants without a second thought. So that's the way the universe works. So if you're strong enough, if you're like rich enough, you can build your own state with your own military. So you can build your own army if you have the.
So theoretically, yes, but in practice, no.
Why not what do you mean in practice? No. Why would you
Well,
say
not everyone's able to be, like Napoleon or
it's not? I'm not
someone
even
of
saying
that stature.
Napoleon. I mean, I'm saying much more than Napoleon. So let's say you come up with technology that allows you to take over the world, but you don't take over the world. You just take over like a state somewhere, a piece of land, and you just let everybody know, stay away, keep away, don't get me upset so I don't destroy you. In the future, anyone will be able to destroy the planet because nuclear proliferation, it's going to get worse and worse. So this planet is going to be very dangerous. If you don't escape it, you're not going to survive. So either humanity spreads around, or it's going to become very hopeless to survive because the spread of technology. So in the beginning, basically one country had a bomb. Today, many countries have it. In the future, every individual is going to have it. Anyway, so in the future, either on this planet or off the planet, people will have to stay away from each other and give each other a lot of respect, or they will die. Very much like the Wild West. The Wild West was not wild. When you look at movies about the Wild West, it was the opposite of
So
wild. Go
it
ahead.
sounds like you sort of believe in some sort of, because some people believe in like there's like a natural sense of justice to the world.
No,
Is that what you believe in?
no,
Oh,
no. There's the natural order of things, which is might makes right. And in the long run, I think dictatorships will take over, and maybe a single dictatorship will take over everything, or multiple dictatorships. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I don't think individuals. I don't know. I don't know, but I think at the end, evil must prevail. Mathematically, evil must prevail. Meaning that so if
So like Warhammer 40K, like the God Emperor
I don't know.
rules the world or whatever.
I have no idea. I keep hearing these words. I don't watch movies. I don't play games. I have no idea what that is. But in
It's
general,
this sci-fi thing where some grand ruler takes over the cosmos and he has his henchmen do his wars for him.
but it's okay, but the rule is that if you have two people fighting each other, one plays by the rules and the other one doesn't. In the long term, the
Oh
one
yeah, like you said, the Warhammer guy, like if a battle goes like, it's like 50-50, he goes in and he's like the equalizer and he like destroys everything.
I don't know what that I don't know anything about that story, but in general, it's I would say in game theory that if you have two people fighting each other, one plays more by the rules and the other one plays less by the rules. I think in the long run, the one that does not play by the rules in the long run will win. That's my intuition.
What do you think of something like chess?
In chess, there's very strict rules. It's impossible to not play by the rules. So you cannot break the
Well,
rules. But
there
in reality, there's many more rules. And you can, and no one, there is no arbiter of the rules. You can lie very easily. No, like I can claim 1 plus 1 is 7, and there's nothing you can do about that. I can keep saying that. I can spread this disinformation. I can spread it, and and everyone will repeat it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can know that like I know Einstein was a buffoon, but if I tell this to anyone right now, they're gonna say I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm an idiot. Einstein was a
so
genius, and I'm a no one. But
so that's like the Ciceroan take where you rewrite what happened.
I don't I don't know. You keep bringing up all these words I'm not familiar with. I don't know what Ciceronian is. I'm sorry. It's not important. I'd rather. I mean, the point is
No, I'm
that
just trying to say I get what you're saying.
okay. So as far as so so you, the world is not a chess game. Like imagine you play chess with someone and he moves the pieces illegally, but there's no one who saw this, and he declares victory. And then you're going to claim, yeah, but he cheated. And he's going to say, no, I didn't cheat. I won. And there's no records. So what are you going to do? He's going to tell everyone that he won. And maybe maybe everyone will believe him. He's going to say that you're this and that. He's going to call you all these names, and everyone is going to therefore hate you. He's going to make up lies about you and ruin your name. That's life. So life is much more complex than an actual a legal chess match. In life you can cheat in chess. In life there are no rules. There are no rules except for the rules of the very universe, the fabric of reality. As far as I know, no one can cheat in those rules, but in social interactions you can there are no rules. You can the rules are like the rules are that there are no rules. The rules are that you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You can kill anyone. You can do anything you want and have a great life. Like and even feel good about yourself. Like Stalin died knowing that he is the purest person in history. He followed Marx to the letter, and he thought Marx was the shite. And maybe Marx thought that he's the shite. Maybe they all thought that they are the purest because they thought the capitalists are just the most evil. Maybe they really did. They probably did. Like a lot of people really believe that money is evil and working is evil. Who knows what people believe? So some people that I consider very evil, maybe most people would consider the best thing since sliced bread. So what am I gonna like? So there are no rules. It's not. It's not even close to 1 + 1 = 2. It's like everyone
Out of
says,
curiosity,
yeah.
who are some people you consider evil that others would consider sliced bread? Well,
I mean,
like,
Stalin,
w-
I think Stalin was evil, but Stalin would argue, what are you talking about? Stalin died poor. Stalin died without money in his bank account. He had nothing. He was poor. He didn't do anything for himself. He was purely righteous. He did everything for the workers, and he did everything for equality. Just like Marx said, he followed Marx as a prophet. He really believed Marx was the prophet that you have to listen to. Marx convinced everyone at that time that I think Einstein was a Marxist. I think all the geniuses of that time were Marxist, and it was just 1 + 1 = 7 was perfectly logical. And what do you mean 1 + 1 is not 7 or 17 or something weird like that? I mean, what is Marxism? It's complete nonsense. But if everyone says Marx is the shite, Marx is the last word, Marx is the future, then what are you going to do? Like when I started my journey, my first step was the first time I was on YouTube basically and opened my mind that there is a universe out there was when I heard Sam Harris talk about religion, and I was blown away. Wait, there are other atheists besides me in the universe? I was blown away when I first heard Sam Harris, like many, many years ago. Then I heard Hitchens, and and my mind was open to atheism, and I became a belligerent atheist. And during the process, Hitchens said that he's a Marxist. So I said, "Oh, I love Hitchens. I'll become a Marxist too." So I defined myself as a Marxist, and I started studying Marx. And I didn't know better, and I was speaking like any Marxist you meet online, like, and I was anti-capitalist, and like I didn't know better. I thought I was being righteous, and I was So that's what are you gonna do when the whole universe is at that stage that they just open their eyes and and maybe most people get stuck at this point that they just open their eyes and they discover the world, and the first stop is Marx, because Marx is I don't know why everyone starts with Marx their journey, but a lot of young people do, and they get stuck with Marx. Marx is he's very enticing. He says equality. He says all these things that as young, from like that speak to us about justice and equality. 1 second, I have a message. I gotta take over. I gotta read this message. I can't. Let me read this. 1 second. La 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 la. La la
we'll
la
find
la
more.
la la. What?
We'll find more questions in the meanwhile.
Yeah. You want to write more questions?
I'm gonna find some.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna sing while I'm reading this report. 1 second. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la. Okay, recommendations. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Let me see this.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
what do you think of some
Hmm.
like in Eastern philosophy, even in Egyptian philosophy, and Aristotle held that fire, water, air, and earth were the building blocks of everything.
Uh, Wait, what?
They thought, let me read the passage.
You know what?
He argued since it's impossible for
I
what
need
was that?
I need to make a phone call. It's going to take a while, so I gotta get off the stream. But I'll
Okay.
ping you when I'm done, and we can continue.
All right.
All right, man. Catch you later.
See.
See you.